Some places in New York are incredible to live in, but others, not so much. In fact, some cities are dealing with high crime, rising poverty, and a quality of life that just doesn't match the cost of living. And that's exactly what we're breaking down today. In this video, we're counting down the top 10 worst places to live in New York State, based on violent crime, property crime, poverty levels, overall livability, and cost of living. Now, before we get into the top 10, there's one city that just missed the list. Troy just misses the list, coming in as an honorable mention. It actually has the lowest violent crime rate ranked in this video, at around 470 per 100,000 people, along with the highest livability score at 81, which already separates it from most of the cities we're about to talk about. That said, poverty is still sitting at about 23.4%, which is fairly high compared to the US average around 10.6%. And property crime is still over 2,700 per 100,000 people, so it's not without issues. But when you compare it to the rest of this list, Troy simply doesn't check enough of the worst boxes to make the top 10. Starting off the list at number 10 is Poughkeepsie. Poughkeepsie looks like it should be a great place to live, right on the Hudson River, not too far from New York City, but the reality does not match the potential. However, it does actually have some of the better numbers on this list, including the lowest property crime rate at about 1,636 per 100,000, and the lowest poverty rate at 17.6%. But even with that, violent crime is still relatively high at around 644 per 100,000. Cost of living is a weird contradiction here. While it's much cheaper than New York City, it's still about 18% higher than the national average, meaning you're paying more without getting the same level of safety or economic opportunity. Housing trends don't help either. A large portion of residents rent rather than own, and many renters are considered cost-burdened, which adds to instability in certain neighborhoods. And finally, while the location is great on paper, the city struggles with uneven development. Some areas are improving, but others still deal with blight, underinvestment, and quality of life issues that hold it back compared to other Hudson Valley towns. The livability score according to Area Vibes is still a 77 though. So while it's not nearly as bad as the cities higher on this list, the combination of crime and cost of living still lands it at number 10. Coming in at number 9 is Albany. Albany might be the state capital, but don't let that fool you. It still lands at number 9 because of a mix of crime, stagnant growth, and underwhelming city life. Crime has been an issue here for decades, with a current violent crime rate around 817 per 100,000, which is on the higher side, along with property crime near 2,848 per 100,000. Poverty sits at about 22.9%, which is still significant, while the cost of living is closer to average. The overall livability score of about 80 doesn't fully offset those concerns. Albany's biggest weakness is its lack of energy. For a capital city, the downtown is pretty quiet outside of work hours. Nightlife is limited, and large parts of the city feel just boring. Compared to places like Buffalo, or even smaller cities with more momentum, Albany can feel like it's not really growing or evolving at the same pace. And while there are some positives, like access to nature and proximity to other big cities, and steady government jobs, the overall package just doesn't match what you'd expect for the price and status. At number 8, we've got Schenectady. Schenectady reports about 646 violent crimes per 100,000 people, and over 3,100 property crimes per 100,000, which puts it firmly above the average. On the economic side, which hasn't fully recovered from the city's industrial past, Schenectady used to be a major hub thanks to companies like General Electric, but after decades of downsizing, the city has struggled to fully bounce back. Today, the poverty rate sits at 23.8%, and the median household income is well below the national averages, showing a clear gap between Schenectady and more prosperous nearby areas like Saratoga Springs or Clifton Park. I have been to every city mentioned on this video, and I'm surprised Schenectady's not way higher. I guess if I'd made this video 5 to 10 years before, it would have most likely made the top 3. Housing is another complication. While prices are relatively cheap compared to other parts of New York, that often reflects older housing stock and neglected properties. A lot of areas still deal with blight and lack of reinvestment, even though parts of downtown have seen some revitalization in recent years. And that's really the theme with Schenectady: inconsistent progress. There are bright spots like the casino, Proctor's Theater, and some downtown redevelopment. But step just a few blocks away and you'll still find struggling neighborhoods, vacant homes, and limited opportunity. The cost of living is slightly below average, but the overall livability score of 78 shows it's still dealing with some consistent challenges. It's not the worst in any single category, but it's consistently struggling across several, which is why it lands here. Number 7 takes us to Buffalo. The weather here is just terrible. You can't ignore it. Buffalo is known for its harsh winters and heavy lake effect snow, sometimes getting hit with massive snowstorms that can shut the city down. For a lot of people, that alone is a deal breaker. Buffalo has a property crime rate of about 3,810 per 100,000, which is one of the higher numbers on this list, along with a violent crime at around 706 per 100,000. Poverty is also a major factor, at roughly 26%. The cost of living is below the national average, but that affordability often reflects the challenges in the area. The economy is improving, but it's still catching up. Buffalo has been trying to transition from its old industrial base into healthcare, education, and tech, but job growth hasn't fully translated across the entire city. A lot of residents are still dealing with low wages and limited upward mobility, especially compared to national averages. Buffalo is my favorite city on this list, and there's a lot of fun to be had there, but its overall condition still place Buffalo in the lower half of the rankings. At number 6 is Utica, a city with history and character, but one that still struggles with economic decline, poverty, and limited opportunity. Let's start with the economy, because that's the biggest issue here. Utica has been trying to recover from decades of industrial decline, but it still hasn't fully bounced back. The median household income is around the low 40,000s range, and the poverty rate sits at 27.5%, making it one of the more economically challenged cities in New York. That lack of opportunity shows up in everyday life. There are fewer high-paying jobs, limited career growth unless you're in very specific fields, and many residents end up leaving for bigger cities. Compared to other parts of the state, Utica just doesn't have the same level of economic momentum. The violent crime rate here in Utica is around 528 per 100,000 people. Property crime is also significant at around 2,949 per 100,000. And the livability score of 80 doesn't fully reflect the economic struggles many residents face. It's a city that continues to deal with long-term challenges, especially when it comes to income and opportunity. Halfway through the list at number 5 is Niagara Falls. And this one is wild, because it's home to one of the most famous natural attractions in the world. Yet the city itself struggles heavily. There has been a huge population decline over the past decades, dropping from over 100,000 people in its peak years to under 50,000 today. That kind of decline leads to vacant homes, abandoned buildings, and entire neighborhoods that feel hollowed out. On one hand, you've got the state park and the waterfall area, which is clean, maintained, and full of visitors. And on the other, just a few blocks away, you're in areas dealing with serious blight and poverty. It's one of the most dramatic good versus bad contrasts you'll see in any city in the US. The city has about 501 violent crimes per 100,000, but more importantly, it's tied for the lowest livability score on this list at 61, Property crime sits around 2,808 per 100,000, and while the cost of living is relatively average, the overall economic conditions and lack of opportunity bring it down significantly. I've been to the falls many times, and in my opinion, it's just plain depressing. The Canadian side is much better, with more attractions, better views of the falls, and overall, a better experience. For those who have never been, it's worth checking out at least one time in your life. But overall, I'm not a fan of the place. Despite being a major tourist destination, those benefits don't seem to translate into better living conditions for residents. Number 4 takes us over to Rochester, a city with history and potential, but one that still struggles with deep inner-city problems. The city's poverty rate is 27.8%, making it one of the poorest mid-sized cities in the entire country. That level of poverty leads to struggling neighborhoods, lower quality schools in certain areas, and limited economic mobility for a lot of people that live there. Housing is affordable, but again that comes with trade-offs. Lower home prices often reflect older housing stock in neighborhoods that haven't seen enough improvements. Rochester has a violent crime rate of about 582 per 100,000 people, and a property crime rate around 3,289 per 100,000 people, both of which are elevated. When you combine crime and poverty at those levels, along with a livability score of around 77, it creates a situation where many parts of the city continue to struggle. Breaking into the top 3 is Binghamton, a city that's often overlooked, but when you look at the numbers, it's dealing with serious population decline and quality of life issues. The poverty rate is crazy. At 32.6%, it's by far the highest on this list. There's a huge lack of opportunity here. There just aren't a ton of high-paying jobs, and many younger residents end up leaving. Even with Binghamton University nearby, a lot of graduates don't stick around long-term, which contributes to the slow growth and limited economic momentum. It also has a property crime rate of about 3,413 per 100,000, and violent crime around 533, both of which are still relatively high. Even though cost of living is low, that affordability often reflects the lack of opportunity in the area. Binghamton is another one of those cities with nothing much to really do in it and nothing nearby either. However, the city still holds a 78 on the livability score. Number 2, Syracuse. This well-known city has a lot going for it, but the problems here are just too big to ignore. The economy is a huge weak point. While Syracuse University brings in students and some economic activity, it's not enough to lift the entire city. A lot of jobs are in lower-paying sectors, and there's a noticeable gap between the university-driven areas and the rest of the city. The poverty rate sits around 28.8%, which is incredibly high for a city this size. Population trends don't help either. Syracuse has lost a significant portion of its population over the decades, and while things have stabilized somewhat, the long-term decline has left behind aging infrastructure and many struggling neighborhoods. Syracuse has the highest property crime rate on this list, at about 4,234 per 100,000, along with a violent crime rate of 765 per 100,000. And then there's the weather, arguably the worst in the state. Syracuse is one of the snowiest cities in the entire US, getting hit with massive lake-effect snow and long gray winters. For a lot of people, that alone makes living here a challenge. Even with a livability score of 78, those numbers push Syracuse near the very top of this list. And finally, coming in at number 1 is Newburgh. And honestly, this one isn't even close. For a city this small, The level of crime, poverty, and overall instability is just on another level compared to the rest of New York. The contrast is huge. You've got a beautiful Hudson River waterfront with real potential, but just a few blocks inland, you're dealing with some of the toughest conditions in the state. This place has the highest violent crime rate, with the city reporting 984 crimes per 100,000. Property crimes could be higher for a city this bad, with numbers showing 1,917 per 100,000. On top of that, this city is tied for the lowest livability score with Niagara Falls, at 61. The poverty and income gap here is brutal. With a poverty rate around 24.3%, you've got a large portion of the population struggling, while nearby areas in the Hudson Valley are significantly more affluent. That creates a huge imbalance, where Newburgh feels completely disconnected from the wealth around it. The lack of opportunity is another huge factor. There just aren't enough strong employers or industries keeping people there long term. A lot of residents either commute out or are stuck in low-paying jobs, which feeds into the cycle of poverty. This place also has the highest cost of living on the whole list, making it one of the least balanced cities overall. When you combine high crime, high costs, and low quality of life, Newburgh clearly stands out as the worst place to live in New York State. So those are the top 10 worst places to live in New York State. If you made it this far, drop a comment and let me know which city surprised you the most, or which one you think should have been on the list or ranked higher. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and check out the channel for more content like this. Appreciate you watching. I'll catch you in the next one.